وأما من خيف مقام ربه ونهى النفس عن الهوى فإن الجنة هي المأوى. صدق الله العظيم. الفاتحة.
Tying into what Sheikh Abdurrahman Sadian, inshallah, will recite as well. Often when we recite verses or we read verses in relation to the Day of Judgment, in relation to resurrection, in relation to our end, we see it in the form of something gloomy or something as of a warning, and of a warning only. Rather, one can also look at it in a different light. One can also look at it in a manner in which we are told not to be anxious, not to be full of stress, not to be in a state of anxiety, because the nafs left on its own will want as much of the dunya, as much of the world as it possibly can in the limited number of years that it has. So humanity, knowing that they have a limited number of years, driven by the ego, will want more and more and more of the dunya. The aspiration today is to each and every day increase one's wealth, while at the same time each and every day is a decrease in one's lifetime. That is the irony of life. And so, with the verses informing us about the hereafter, informing us of the Day of Judgment, one can also see it as your merciful Lord overflowing with love, reaching out to humanity and saying, do not be anxious, O humanity. Do not try and gain as much of this world as you possibly can in the finite time that you have. Why? Because there is another world to come after this world. There is another life after this life. There is another reality beyond and greater than this reality. The motto of the world today, in this materialistic world, and notice as materialism rises, yani people taking Allah out of their hearts in terms of remembrance. At the same time, depression, anxiety, and suicide rise. It's not by accident. We all know this. Nothing will fill that void. The Creator knows. The only thing that will satiate that heart, the only thing that will bring that heart to peace is remembrance of Him, reaching out to Him. And so the world today, unfortunately, teaches us to spoil thyself, to pleasure thyself, to indulge thyself, to worry only about the self, to live in a manner in which you are death-defying. And you only live once, jump out of a bungee. You only live once, jump out of a plane. You only live once, do this, do that, indulge yourself, pleasure thyself, spoil thyself. But the Muslim is a different motto in life. We believe that you only die once. You will live again. So be as pious, as righteous, as empathetic, as charitable, as God-conscious as you can. Malik Yawmiddin, master of the day of judgment, but also looking at the derivatives in terms of debt, master of the day of repayment. Again, O humanity, be at ease. There is another world to follow this world. Do not let your desires run you wild. Do not commit the most atrocious acts, taking the rights of others just because you want to hoard as much of this world as you can. There is another world to come, and that world is far greater than this world. So be at ease. Be calm. This is our merciful Lord reaching out to us. There is another way in which we can look at it. Similarly with the ajal. When we talk about ajal, and we're taught about ajal, and we sit next to about the ajal, the moment of death, it's always, oh no, the ajal is coming. Oh no, beware, the ajal may come. But look at it from another perspective. Nothing can harm you. No one can do anything. No one can take your life unless your ajal comes. So be at ease and be at peace. Be at ease and be at peace. And so, this is a good reminder for us, dear brothers. Not only in terms of a warning that there is an accountability that will come, but also an assurance that there is a world to come that is better than this world. That is better than this world, that has a priority over this world. You know, when you enter the Salah Siyah, you can refer to as connection with Allah. Disconnect from the matrix of the dunya, reconnect to your consciousness to Allah. Yani reprioritize your life. Readjust the priorities in your life, realign them to what? To that which matters. Preparation for that day. Yawm al-Azif, that day that is always drawing closer. That's one of the names of the Day of Judgment. It is closer now than what it was when we started the lecture, and it will be closer again when we end this lecture or this series. So prepare for that. So death, yes, it should be on our minds, but in a way in which we can relate it to us. And one of the matters in which my students, they like this image. You know, imagine for a minute that you have been asked here, everybody here has been asked to host the most important dinner of one's lifetime. You know, maybe people that are secular, maybe people that are not religious, in this day and age would think the most important dinner is if they had all these pop stars and singers and actors coming to their house. Can you imagine? That would be the most important dinner for them. For us, let's say, is the highest level scholars, those that are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are going to be rounded, and you are going to have the honor of hosting their dinner. And so, in order to figure out who's going to host it this year, who's going to host it next year, the following, and so forth, they draw your name from our house. And our young brother here gets this year. Right? Our young brother here gets this year. In 1 week's time, you have to host this most important dinner. And then another person the following year, and then the following year, and the following year, and one person up the back there is in another 40 years' time. You brother smiling in 40 years' time. But what happens? The edge may come. They've got to protect. Something happens, you can't hold the dinner. So now they draw another name for this year. And it's this brother at the back. This new brother at the back, it's his turn. When it was 40 years from now, is he going to bother about preparing for that dinner? 40 years from now, is he going to worry about it? He's going to put in his calendar 1 month before, he's going to start preparing for it. Yeah. Not going to worry about it. Why? It's 40 years from now. But now the things have changed. Now he has to host it next week. What's he going to do? The most important dinner with the most important delegates in the world. For us as Muslims. Is he going to worry about anything else? Is he going to prioritize on anything else? No, he's going to cancel his bookings, cancel his schedules, and focus what? Only on this dinner because it's in a few days. That is the same with death, my dear brothers. If you think death is 40 years from now, 30 years from now, how much are you going to prepare for it? How much are you going to worry about it? How much are you going to prioritize on it? But if you understand and realize that it could be this very evening, it could be tomorrow, it could be the next day, that will be tomorrow. And so these verses, yes, they're a warning, but they're also a comfort as well. And so, our dear Sheikh Abdurrahman Saadi, who's come all this way from South Africa in order to share his recitation with you, the recitation of this living miracle with you, will recite verses in which it will include fundamentally important verses. Everything on earth, everything in the heavens and on the earth glorifies Him. If everything in the heavens and the earth glorifies Him, Allah is in no need of us glorifying Him, because everything in the heavens and the earth does. In fact, the only thing that you may have control over, that He is giving you control over, is the wagging of the tongue in reference to glorifying Him. But your cells glorify Him. The proteins, the amino acids in your body, every other element in your body glorifies Him, as does everything else in the heavens and the earth, yet we cannot perceive it. So we must make it a practice when we hear these verses being recited, we must really take it to heart and say we want to join with the rest of the creation, the rest of the universe in glorifying Him. Then we will not be in conflict with the universe around us, and our outer state and our inner state will no longer be in conflict, and we will be at peace. Glorifying God Almighty with the rest of the universe will allow you to realize that you are one of God's creatures, and every other creature that is also glorifying Him is also one of God's creatures. The next time you move to backbite, the next time you move to slander, the next time you move to take the rights of somebody, to harm somebody, you will understand better because as a result of this glorification that you are moving to harm God's creature. That will lead you to be more caring, to be more empathetic, to be more compassionate, to be more charitable, to be more understanding, as opposed to being critical and judgmental and condescending. So inshallah, we will now listen to our dear Sheikh, Dr. Hansadian, reciting verses related to this, as well as another surah in which he will recite those verses reminding us of the world to come and the state that we will pass from this world into the next, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله عما يشركون والله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم والله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم والله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله سبحان الله عما يشركون الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون والله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وجمع الشمس والقمر فإذا برق البصر وخسف القمر وجمع الشمس والقمر يقول الإنسان يومئذ أين المفر كلا وزر إلى ربك يومئذ المستقر ينبأ الإنسان يومئذ بما قدم وأخر بل الإنسان على نفسه بصيرة ولو ألقى معاذيره لا تحرك به لسانك لتعجل به إن علينا جمعه وقرآنه فإذا قرأناه فاتبع قرآنه ثم إن علينا بيانه كلا بل تحبون العاجلة وتذرون الآخرة وجوه يومئذ ناظرة إلى ربها ناظرة ووجوه يومئذ باسرة تظن أن يفعل بها فاقرة كلا إذا بلغت التراقي وقيل من راق أولى لك فأولى ثم أولى لك فأولى أيحسب الإنسان أن يترك سدى ألم يكن نطفة من مني يمنى ثم كان علقة فخلق فسوى فجعل منه الزوجين الذكر والأنثى أليس ذلك بقادر أليس ذلك بقادر على أن يحيي الموتى أليس ذلك بقادر على أن يحيي الموتى الله أكبر ولله الحمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد صدق الله العظيم الفاتحة
Just wanted to say thank you to the LMA, to Sheikh Mohammed, also Sheikh Yahya as well, and our dear guests. Inshallah, it was spiritually invigorating, nourishment for the soul, and a good reminder. Jazakumullah khair.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا